So let's start out with Friday. Bowl games start in Mass on Friday. I'll be in Iowa with Derek.
You're not going to be here?
Council. I'm taking 1 day off. You're taking 3 days off next week. So don't start yipping at me about that. But
no, I'm just curious who my co-host is going to be.
It's Dave Ross, if you looked at the schedule.
Of course, you already know I didn't, so why are you making a rhetorical statement?
Coming up aces again. You luck out. I might get Wally pipped. All right, let's start out with
that's for sure.
The Bahamas Bowl Friday morning, at least Friday morning here, in the afternoon in the Bahamas at Nassau. But 9 a.m. kick here on the West Coast. Middle Tennessee against Toledo. Middle Tennessee finished fourth in the Eastern Division of Conference USA. Their best win this year, Amal, 34-28 over Marshall on October 2nd. Toledo comes in at 7-5. They were third in the MAC West. People forget on 9/11, outside of Cincinnati, they gave Notre Dame their best game of the year. Remember, they only lost by 3 at South Bend on that day. Toledo, a big favorite in this game. I'm all 10 with a total of 51.5.
Yeah, I'm going to lead in towards the Rockets here. I like this team. You know, they're a little bit more complete team. Let's start with Middle Tennessee's perspective first of all. They're on their fourth quarterback of the season. Nicholas Badiato took over during the game against Southern Miss. Remember, Bailey Hockman, the NC State transfer, was the guy, and then he went a full Charlie Brewer and realized he couldn't play. So now when you look at this team with a young freshman quarterback in there, they've been okay. They play in a weaker league. But the more complete football team being Toledo, I think that's going to be the difference in this game, Mike. And this Rockets team in a league where they can move the football, they've been really good. You know, when you look at DeQuan Finn in terms of what he can do, it elevates this offense. They're going to be able to throw the football. They're going to be able to run the ball. They're a lot more balanced. I think that's going to be a real challenge for Middle Tennessee here. I also believe this line will creep up to probably 11 sometime around kickoff. You mentioned it with Toledo. This is a program and a team that has played in many big games compared to Middle Tennessee. Remember, this is a team that went down to Miami a couple of years ago, gave them a real heartache. And then, of course, you've got a team you mentioned against Notre Dame, a game that, you know, they didn't end up winning, but they were right there. You have to take your hats off to them. They'll basically one of those attitudes that we'll play anyone, anytime, anywhere.
People forget about this game because they didn't see it. Remember, this was the game that was on Peacock.
Yeah.
And so all we were getting was updates of how Toledo was getting close to upsetting Notre Dame at that point. But I think that's some ways out of people's minds. How about this total? I lean over here, Amal.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you here as well. In these games, you'll see a lot of trick plays and other things. And I think when you look at the athletes that Toledo has going up against Middle Tennessee, they have a huge advantage here. I think the Blue Raiders, who have continuously struggled, barely get in at 6-6, not an overwhelming team from a defensive standpoint. I think the Rockets should be able to move the ball. Mike, the one thing I would look at in this game, if you can find it under 31, if it's at 31, it's fine. If you can find a Toledo team total over 31. If it's 31.5, I wouldn't play it just in case you wind up on 31. But I think this team should be able to get over that number here. I like this Rockets team, much more balanced. And again, I'm thinking in this game that Toledo should be able to be very effective in terms of whether it's on the ground or even in the air because of the inconsistency with Middle Tennessee's defense.